Welcome back to 80scomics.com, taking a trip to November 1984, issue number 2 of the Transformers. Before the Transformers were a household name, they were a limited series of comic books from Marvel Comics that did so well they had to continue this series. Of course, we all know the Transformers, and it's fun to read this today and to put into perspective that when we read this, or when I read this for the first time, nobody knew what the Transformers were. Nobody really knew the story, the backstory, the characters, all of their powers, and the entire, just concept behind the series. And that's what these early issues do, is they lay the foundation for all of this. And it's a very detailed comic book. Actually, I think this is one of the best issues of the Transformers of all. First real conflict, the first battle between Optimus and Megatron. And of course, we get a sweet ad for Mario Brothers on the Atari. Power play. Hey, there's Soundwave. Before the cartoons and the toys got really hot, and before the incredible Transformers, the movie, and before the crappy live-action movies, we had no idea who these guys were. This is where we learned about Starscream always trying to undermine Megatron, and we learn about all of their different powers here. Ravage. This part's great. Ravage, so the Decepticons need energy, right? That's the whole plot here early on. The Decepticons need energy. So they're going to basically disassemble and steal an entire nuclear power plant, because obviously that's what the Decepticons would do. And Ravage is going to sneak in there, and for some reason, he's going to transform. Ravage transforms into a cassette, and for those of you who don't know what cassettes are, you probably shouldn't be watching this in the first place. But he transforms into a cassette, and then this guy reaches for him as a cassette and records on top of Ravage, like all of their construction plans or whatever for this nuclear power plant. So by this logic, you should be able to steal Ravage and then record over him with some winger or something. Blast She's Only 17 while slaughtering your enemies. That would be such a great movie. After the tape concludes, "Great Megatron," those were the words of a human describing their energy harnessing technology. "Once again, you have served me well, Ravage." I can't do the voices as well as the TV show actors, especially Starscream. Starscream does look kind of weird in that shot. Overall, the art's really cool in this issue. It's really packed. This one is just filled with art, details, and dialogue. This is a very, very heavy issue of the Transformers. You learn a lot, and I love this panel here. This one's great. We see all the Transformers, or the Decepticons, transforming and flying away, and this is where we first learn about their powers, like Thundercracker creating sonic booms, Skywarp just having a super cool name. I always liked Skywarp. Skywarp was cool. Starscream's an asshole, Ravage and Laserbeak are awesome, and the humans are a bunch of idiots. I love this panel so much. It's so great that they have to use it twice in this book. I'll show you that in a moment. But it's like they're doing the limbo in unison, isn't it? Here's another fun shot. The Decepticons just walking away with an entire nuclear power plant. Now we return to Buster and Sparkplug Witwicky's garage. In the first issue, Bumblebee gets injured in the attack that takes place at a drive-in theater. And Buster drives him to his dad, tells him he's dying. His dad thinks he's nuts. And then, of course, Bumblebee transforms into a robot and proves that they're all wrong, that he is, in fact, a transforming car. But he's like the worst Transformer. So they had this opportunity to just get rid of Bumblebee in issue number 2, and they didn't do it. I'm kind of disappointed. Wish they could go back in time and replace Bumblebee with a talking El Camino. Look at all of those words! So much reading, so much plot. This is where we learned about the Transformers. Or at least this is where I learned about the Transformers. And we get some boombox action here where Ravage jumps into a boombox. And that's not Blaster. This is before Blaster. This is where he should be recording some Run DMC over Ravage. He could play My Adidas while stomping on people. I'm just throwing it out there. That would be awesome. Look, it's the Autobots. Goody Two-Shoes, Sissy Autobots. Autobots, convert to Earth modes. Peter Cullen, I am not. The Decepticons leave their fortress, which was built out of the nuclear power plant, and go to the garage. There's a giant battle. We can buy some engagement rings from Transformers. I wonder how many of those they sold. They must have sold a few of them. They ran this ad for years. And where's my favorite shot again? There it is. We see it again. The limbo in unison. And a great battle scene. So much detail. Love the artwork in this one. It's a great issue. If you like Transformers, the first couple are awesome because it's like revisiting them again for the first time. Before anyone thought they'd be the huge sensation that they were. They were a limited issue, a limited series. And look, there's even an ad for Star Wars, the arcade game on the back. You can't go wrong with this here on 80scomics.com. Transformers and Megatron defying the law by not social distancing. I guess if you're shooting somebody at close range with a laser gun, that's, well, maybe that is acceptable. I don't know. You know, I gotta be honest, now that I'm reading this many years later, it kind of looks like Megatron is actually the good guy. Crushing Bumblebee, squashing humans. We should be rooting for Megatron. Go get him! Autobots suck.